What's up, everybody? Oh, that's the wrong intro, isn't it? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Enter the Ether, the podcast all about ethereal Clash of Souls. I'm your host, the Man Goose. Joining me, as always, is my friend and co-host, JellyKnees. Jelly, how you doing?
I am great, Mangoose. I'm really excited to talk about the items today because I've looked at them far too much. So at least I get to talk about it more.
Guys, Jelly made this spreadsheet that we talked about it last time. You can input items. Jelly, where can they find that?
That'll be in the Discord. So if you go to the Ethereal Discord, which is linked in the description below, go to the item build section and then look at the pinned messages and you can download it from there.
Right on. And is it on your Discord at all too, or no?
It is not, but it will be by the time this goes up. So yes,
join
it is on my
Discord. It's a lovely community. And yeah, so last time, this week, there wasn't really too many updates. They just updated the website again to like make it work better. But which is probably a good thing because we still haven't really dove into everything that got updated with the website update. And today we're going to dig into the items a little bit. We're not going to go over each and every item because that would take us forever. We each picked 5 items that we really like, and we're going to talk about the overall state of the items as well. So, well, Jelly, how's your week been? Did you enjoy the King's Hunt?
I loved King's Hunt. Oh my God, I played so much of it. It's ridiculous.
I didn't get to play enough because they had it at weird times and I was always working during the open. I'm going to tell you guys.
That was one of my feedback comments to them was like the times for NA were just odd that everyone was at work for the most part. So it was hard to get a lot of people on.
I'll tell you guys something. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I never claimed to be the greatest video game player ever. I was, maybe a little bit above average at Paragon. However, Jelly Goose is a real fucking thing. And that applies to Ethereal in that we're probably going to be teaming up. Anytime Jelly and I team up in a game, we wreck shop. I don't know what it is. I mean, Jelly is a much better player than I, but for some reason, you put the two of us together and we're greater than the sum of our parts. We were kicking ass in King's Hunt. We kicked ass in Predecessor.
100%.
Kicked some ass in Fault. We do well together. I don't know what it is.
It's just we're so in sync together doing the show, Mangoose, that no matter what, nobody can stop us.
It's the communication.
Together we're unstoppable.
The communication. So, all right, let's get into the items now. Let's get into the items. And before we get into the items, though, let's talk about this sheet that got sent to us. Now, this sheet is a breakdown of what the items do. I don't know of any other game that segregates the items and attributes this well. And this is really nice because if you're looking at the sheet right now, you can tell that it shows you if you get a mark, you're getting this. If you get a staff, you're getting these attributes. If you get a sword, you're getting these attributes. So just when you quickly open up the item shop, hey, I need some freaking lifesteal. Whatever looks like a scythe, you click on that real quick and you jump right back into the action. So I think this is really well done. Jelly, you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically the overarching theme is that each item type, so they're split into types. So books are all one type, boots are all one type, capes are all one type, chest guards, things like that. They're all split into their own type. Each type has 1 or 2 stats that are core to that type. So like Mangu said, the scythes all have lifesteal. Across the board, if you see a scythe, it will have lifesteal of some kind. The amounts vary, so one could have 15% lifesteal and one could have 25% lifesteal, but no matter what, those items will have lifesteal. For the bows, each bow has attack speed, so you're guaranteed that if you find a bow, your attack speed, which, like you said, I think helps players understand the shop much quicker than in other MOBAs, because you can go in, you just know, okay, bows are attack speed, I go into the shop, I click a bow, no matter what, I just got attack speed, I got the stat I was looking for. That's a great concept that I can't wait to see more of through this game and hopefully other games picking up that same kind of idea.
It helps too when you're looking at the enemy team's item builds. Like if you see that their ADC is like some memey asshole and you see nothing but scythes in his build, you know that he's just got a crap ton of lifesteal and attack damage, and you know that you maybe build an anti-heal item to counter that guy. And you can just tell that
absolutely.
At a glance. You don't have to look at each and every single item that he has. You don't have to know them out of memory. You just know that That dude has a bunch of scythes. He's got a bunch of lifesteal. That dude has a bunch of bows. He's got a bunch of attack speed. You know what you're dealing with.
Yep, 100%. And so yeah, this chart that we were sent just goes over what each type is and what the 1 or 2 corresponding stats are to that type. So just a very, very quick reference guide, basically, of what types equal what items.
Right. And it's a main attribute and a secondary attribute, and it's again the same across. So like I was saying with scythe, with the attack damage, your main attribute is the lifesteal. Your secondary attribute is attack damage, and they all match up. All scythes will have that. So
yep,
really cool stuff all around.
There are some items that will have like a third stat, but from what we've seen so far, the goal goes up exponentially with that third stat. But the third stat is not consistent across the board. So you could have a bow that has, let's go back to the scythes. So you could have a scythe that has the lifesteal and the physical power, but also gains attack speed as a third stat or something like that. More of a bonus than it is a corresponding stat to the item type, right, which I think is a really cool way to do it.
Your main 2 attributes are going to be whatever is listed right here.
Yep.
Really cool stuff. I really like this. I really like this a lot. All right, so you want to go get in to the items that we picked?
Absolutely.
All right.
This was really hard for me to pick 5 items. Like, I thought I was going to be able to be like, oh yeah, 5 items, no problem, and list 5. And then I sat down to look at it, and I was like, no, it's not that easy. Like, I really like a lot of these items. Like,
I don't know how original they are. For Paragon, they're extremely original. Like, I didn't see a lot of this stuff in Paragon. However, I don't play a lot of Smite or League of Legends, so they might be that, you can only come up with so many freaking ideas, and there's nothing wrong with taking good ideas from other games and importing it into your game. So I don't know if some of these exist in like League of Legends or Smite, but I sure as hell know that a lot of them did not exist in Paragon, which is very cool.
Yeah. A lot of them, they have very similar ideas to what we see in the other MOBAs, but they've got some kind of like ethereal twist on what the item usually does or how it usually works, which I really like. I think that's a great idea. But you want to start with your first item there, man?
My first item is the Paladin's Mask. I had to pick a support item. Had to. The masks are support items. We're not going to really get too much into the details of exactly their stats or anything, but what it does, this is a tier 3 item, spreads damage reducing consecration on the ground. So it doesn't specifically say concentration, but it's a Paladin's Mask. You're spreading an area around you that reduces damage. That's a consecration. I think that's really cool, just borrowing your traditional Paladin skill, bringing it into this game. And I can imagine that would be extremely powerful, especially if you're fighting a team that loves to do those wombo combos. You could nullify that with this Paladin's Mask pretty easily, at least a little bit.
It seems like, yeah, absolutely. It seems like the area, I mean, we don't know how big a unit is, but it says it's 1,000 unit area. That to me sounds huge.
It does.
So if you could fit your entire team in this and they just take reduced damage across the board, that's going to be absolutely like game changing in a team fight.
But it said it spreads though. It's not going to just immediately be there. So you really got to time it and know this something is coming before you activate it.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting to see the plays that get made with stuff like this.
Yeah. Jelly, your first one. What you got?
So I picked a bow item and I love a lot of the bow items, but I picked specifically Divergent Bow. What Divergent Bow does is that when you basic attack somebody, so I shoot the enemy Dante, I will get a ricochet off of Dante to a target nearby him. It just won't, and it does slightly reduced damage, but it applies on hits to that second target. The cool thing about Divergent Bow that I didn't realize at first is that it will keep ricocheting until it runs out of targets, unique targets, I should say.
Really?
So, yeah, and it applies on hits. So crits or any things that you have on your items that do damage over time or things like that will also bounce from target to target. So if you get a good shot lined up, you could hit all 6 of the enemy myths and any minions that are behind them all in one ricochet. It'll reduce every time it bounces. Damage is damage, no matter what the cost is. So that is going to be a really cool thing to see builds come out with and see like lineups come out and get really good ricochets off. I can't wait to play with this item. It's insane.
It reminds me a little bit of Zinx's stun that she could hit and it would bounce off a bunch of minions, and then once it hit a hero, it would stun them. I imagine it would be a little bit like that. Yeah, when I read this, I didn't realize that either. That was the first thing I thought was this would be really good for wave clear if you're just, hitting an extra minion with every shot, but you'd be hitting every single minion with every shot.
Yeah. And it says it reduces down to a certain limit, so it won't go below a certain threshold, which means that no matter what, you're doing damage regardless of how many times it's going to ricochet. So, and if you're getting crits on those, if you build like 100% crit at the same time, and you're critting even with reduced damage, you're still getting up there in the numbers.
That's really cool. I like that. Good choice, Jelly. Good choice.
And speaking of which, Divergent Bow ties perfectly into your next item.
The Axe of Crito. I guess that's Dorito. 20% of crit damage is converted to true damage. So if you get a crit, that extra crit damage, 20% of it is converted to true damage. I love this because it's a way of getting armor penetration without really getting armor penetration. And it's a way to have a crit build that still has some pen and can still, snipe down really tankier opponents. Very cool idea for this axe.
Absolutely. I think this is a great thing. It's going to be interesting to see how balanced it is because 20% sounds like a lot. I know that they've mentioned, it's not listed on the website currently, but they've mentioned that this will have a cooldown per target. I don't know what that is. So I can't just endlessly 20% true damage to somebody. But I mean, I wish I could. That'd be great. I would love that. So just Mangoose and I can do that? I think that'd be perfectly balanced. Just he and I get 20% true damage per every shot. That's fine. I think it's balanced. No big deal.
The way I'm reading it, though, it's just 20% of the crit damage, though. So you get your regular damage, your crit damage on top of that, and it's only 20% of that extra crit damage, right? Or is it just 20% of the overall strike?
It's percent of your total crit. So it's
okay. So it's even
if
more
you are dealing 100 damage, you crit for 200. It's going to be 20% of the 200.
Okay, right on. That's even stronger than I thought.
This item I think will be like a really crazy one that you'll see built a lot, at least initially.
Yeah.
Because it sounds really good. It's just going to see if it's actually good in practice.
All right, Jelly, what's your next one?
My next item is the Crimson Dragon Sword. Now, we've seen the art for this for a while. We've had the art for this item for a long time. Never knew what it did. Now that we do, holy crap, it sounds incredible. For all you people that are going to all the sites, you better build this item with them because it's insane. So it takes a portion of steel that you get being an enemy champion or enemy myth, sorry. It takes a portion of that and converts it to a damage over time that ends them for the amount that you healed. For 75% the amount you healed. So the more lifesteal you have, the more you're going to heal and the more you're going to burn them at the same time on top of the damage you were already doing. So this, to me, I don't know why you would build lifesteal and not pick this item up.
Yeah, I know,
because
right?
It's absolutely insane.
I could definitely see somebody with all scythes and then one Crimson Dragon Sword too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it says it's got a 500 damage cap for over 3 seconds.
Oh, really?
But 500 damage is still an insane amount of damage to do over time.
Oh, people are going
not even including your basic attack damage. Like, that's after everything.
People are going to be min-maxing the shit out of that. Like, exactly how much lifesteal do you need?
We already are in the Discord. People have been like trying to do the math. But like, okay, if I build half crit, half lifesteal, how do I hit the perfect 500 over 3 seconds ratio where I get 498.3 damage over 3 seconds? Oh yeah, it's already a thing.
People love
my item builder hasn't helped because everyone's looking at the stats really quickly and being like, okay, yep, we have perfect amounts right here.
But then you got to factor in how much the actual hero does with scaling and everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be shit. They love that min-maxing DPS spreadsheet stuff.
Oh, dude, that's why I built my spreadsheet. I was like, I love that stuff. So I'm here like, yes, all the things. I can see them all. It's going to be incredible.
That's awesome. My next item is the Berserker's Shield. It has attack power and attack speed while you're above 50% health. But if you go below 50% health, you get armor and health per 5 second health regen, basically.
Yeah.
I think this is really cool and will be super good for bruiser type heroes for like Iran or Talos or anybody that, like, could you imagine if Chimera had this? It would be
My God.
It would be
Oh,
stupid.
no.
It would be stupid. Or Crunch. Could you imagine Crunch with this? It would be absolutely
Oh,
amazing.
man.
And
Yeah, they'd be broken. 100%. There would be no
hopefully they
stopping
can
them.
balance this because holy shit. I mean, I guess it depends on how much attack power and attack speed they get. And then it doesn't seem like it's a lot of armor and a lot of health regen, but even some, and just being able to convert back and forth back like that is just crazy good. I really, really like this item.
Yeah, and they really like this concept of being above thresholds for one stat and being below for a different stat.
Yeah.
And I think that by itself, you can make a build out of just the threshold items of like, all right, if I'm above 50% health, I am overpowered beyond all reason. And if I'm below 50% health, I'm tankier than everybody else on the team.
Kill me.
Like, oh, dude, it's going to be insane to look at some of this stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. What you got, Jelly?
Fool's Curse is my third item. This item, so we've been theory crafting this, and Skifter, who we had on a couple weeks ago, brought this item up to me, and I've realized the pure power of it since then is that when you die, when you go down to 0 health, you gain 5 seconds that you can run around on the map with bonus move speed. At the end of that 5 seconds, it takes a percentage of your maximum health and deals it as magic damage in an area around you. So you basically turn into a bomb 5 seconds after you die. Now, because it's based off of maximum health, we've been calling the build that we made with this Grog Nuke, because you get Grognark and you stack him up with so much health that this item can deal 1,300 damage by itself just after he dies. So after everything's said and done, he just runs in and blows up for 1,300 damage. I mean, you could almost nuke a carry in one hit just by him dying. Like, it's just insane what you could do with this. That doesn't even include Grognark's health scaling by itself, which, yeah, it's going to be nuts to see this item in play.
So Tyrael in Heroes of the Storm does this exactly. It's just as his passive. Whenever he dies, he can move around and explode on people, and it causes some pretty crazy interactions with the game. What I can see happening is like their core is at like 3% health. You got your Grog Nuke going in. He's beating on it. He dies, and everybody's like, "Oh, thank God!" Then he just explodes, takes out the core, and you.
Oh God, it'll be insane to see this.
Yeah, that's a really cool item. I don't know if I would ever build something with the intent to die. It might be fun. It might be fun. My next one is Broken Mask. This is just a tier 1 item. I don't even know what the stats are. I just like the art. The art is so cool to me. This one just looks, I don't know why this is this tier 1 item caught my eye, but just like looking through, I was like, man, that is really cool. And like when I clicked on it, totally assumed it was going to be a tier 3. And I was like, man, this is a shitty tier 3 item. It's because it's not a tier 3 item. I don't know. This one, I just picked simply on aesthetics. That's it.
Even for a tier 1 though, this, like, the active on this item gain 20% of your maximum mana back just on press on a 3-minute cooldown. That's insane. Supports, I mean, it's going to be a support item,
right?
But any like caster support just gains their mana back 20% of it over instantaneously. Insane. Going to be really cool to see.
Indeed.
My next item though, I have Destiny Blade, which is a melee only item, which I think is good and bad. For the effect it has, it makes a lot of sense why you don't want this to just be everybody. But at the same time, I would love to build this on ranged myths. So it's one of those give and take things. But every time you attack an enemy myth, you leave a stack of Destiny's Edge on them, building up to 5. For each stack, they take 1% bonus physical damage as long as they have that stack on them, and it falls off after a couple seconds. When you hit 5 stacks, they just instantly take 10% max health damage. Oof. Just in an instant. Oof. That's nutty to me. It's got a 60-second cooldown per enemy, so I can't just constantly stack it on the same guy. But if you hit that 5th stack, you are going to be doing so much damage so fast that you could do some serious work. I think Malaya is probably going to be a huge user of this item in particular.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I can imagine using this to burst down Bomb Narc, and then he just explodes on top of you.
Oh man, the instant regret. You just see him die and you see him run at you again. You're like, oh no. I didn't look at his items. He's got Fool's Curse. I'm dead.
Yeah, I hate to go back to that item already, but there's going to be so many clips of that. Destroying people. Yeah, but
I'm just going to create whole
really
montages
cool.
of just Fool's Curse giving people a headache.
That's basic. That's a lot of fucking damage right there, especially against a tankier opponent. Damn.
Yeah, absolutely.
My last one was the Cotton Spore Guard. Increases your resistance based on what kind of damage you took. So if you take physical damage, you get physical damage reduction. If you take magical damage, you get magical damage reduction, and it alternates. So if you're getting hit with like a physical attack and then a magical attack and then a physical attack then a magical attack, it's really not going to do shit for you. But if there's somebody on their team, like say they've got like, I'm going to use Paragon terms because Ethereal's not really out yet. Say you had a Gideon that's running away with the game, but they got a Twin Blast too that's really dangerous, and you're tanking. You want to be able to tank that Twin Blast for a while, and then if Gideon comes out of the shadows, you'll be able to tank him for a while. So I think this is a really cool idea. I like the Cotton Spore Guard.
There's a champion in League that has something very similar to this as their passive, and that when they attack somebody, depending on what type of damage that person does, they gain the shield. I like it way more as a defensive thing instead of requiring me to attack. Getting attacked procs the shield. But I completely agree. This is going to be really interesting to see somebody use well. If they can mitigate their damage from one type of user at all times, it could get really, really crazy. So my final item is Amulet of the Ancients. This one, I think, seems underwhelming, but the implications of what you can do with it get insane. That when you fall below 30% health, you have an AoE radius around you that every enemy in it gets rooted for 1 second, which is a crazy amount of time in team fights for a game that seems to be as bursty as this one is going to be. I think having 1 second where everyone is rooted on the enemy team if you position well is going to be absolutely nuts. And on top of that, when you root everybody, you gain 2.5% of your health back per person that you rooted. So not only did you just go below 30, you can now go back up to 45% health if you root enough people in it, which is just nuts.
Yeah, I can imagine charging in with a tank, and you're pushing, and if you're charging forward like that, their reaction is going to be to try and fall back as your team moves forward, and then you're going to end up there. They're going to think they have you. You're going to root them. You're going to gain a bunch of health back. Your team's going to be able to overwhelm them. This is going to be an amazing item. Like I said, I almost picked this one as well. This is a really, really cool thing. I can't wait to see what these roots look like too. Agreed.
Yeah, I'm so excited for so many of these items. And there's a dozen more that I could have picked for this that I feel like these ones just edged out above them.
I had a really hard time. I wanted to pick at least one that wasn't tier 3, and I was kind of happy when I saw Broken Mask. I thought it was tier 2 to tell you the truth, but yeah, holy shit. These items are amazing. Guys, you can go to their website and look at every single one of these items. Head over to JellyKnees Discord or the Ethereal Discord and do your own item builds if you wish. It's going to be a little hard to do without knowing the hero attack, starting attack power and scaling and all that, but you can at least get some idea of some of the crazy shit that you're going to be able to do in Ethereal, and that's the hallmark of Ethereal, crazy shit that you can do.
Basically, it's going to be really cool to see even builds that I haven't considered or anybody in the community hasn't considered yet. Somebody's going to find some interaction and I'll be like, wait a second, that's insane. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to balance.
Absolutely. Just like everything else in Ethereal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's
GDA's got their work cut out for them.
Did you have anything else, Jelly?
I think that's it.
Right on. What about plugs? You got anything to plug this week?
More videos! All the videos. We're doing videos. I've got 40 videos that I have ideas for to do into the next several weeks. So yeah, video. Streaming, if you have any questions on Ethereal, pop into my stream, Twitch or YouTube. I'm always happy to answer ethereal questions or just have people hang out. And yeah, what about you, Mangoose?
That's what I'll just plug your stream because Marvelous Mondays were it should be today, right? Is that gonna be tonight? Because we're recording this a day late. Come out for Marvelous Mondays and join us, man. It's so much fun. Like there's no
Marvelous Mondays, 5 p.m. PST. My stream. Be there every week. It's
never
great.
Played marbles on like Twitch or whatever. It's just marbles that run down a track. You don't control them at all. It just has people's names. You're like your name on it. And you're just all rooting for your little marble to beat everyone else randomly. It is so much freaking fun. Why Twitch doesn't have an integration to let you gamble your channel points on the marble races? I don't know, but it is great. So you know, sub to or follow JellyKnees. Sub to him if you want to on Twitch. I don't know, and sub to him on YouTube and check out Marvelous Mondays. That's going to be my plug for this week. But that is going to be all. I hope you guys check out these items. I hope you guys check out the spreadsheet, and I hope you guys all join us as we enter the ether. Mangoose.